Hi guys, it's Olivia and I am back with another tutorial this week. And this week I created this birth stat elephant with the baby's name on one ear and all of the birth stats on the other. So if you want to learn how to make this, stick around for the tutorial. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything you want me to make, comment it down below. My links to my portfolio site is down in the description box. So if you want to go look on there, if there's something you want to learn how to make that's on there, just comment it down below and I will get to it as soon as possible. I start by getting a template of my elephant ears. And the ears on the elephant I'm using are 2.5 inches wide by 4 inches long. So I made my ovals the size of that and changed the color to the color of the actual elephant's ears. I started with the large T and I just wanted to use the Times font for that, the Times New Roman font for that to make the big T. And then I went to the next text, which is his name, and because I used the Eleanor font for everything else for TJ, I'm going to use the Eleanor font for this as well. And I just put his first and last name and then Junior. I centered it all and then made the line spacing a lot smaller to, I think I settled on -6 or 7, but then that still wasn't close enough. Like the Terrell and the Roland were pretty close, but the Junior was still too spaced out, so I ungrouped the lettering, moved the Junior up, and then welded that all together. But a problem with welding is that sometimes the letters are too close together and then it doesn't leave the circles in the letters that need circles, like the A and the D needed a circle in the middle, but it just it didn't do right. So I had to go back and space them out a little more to make sure that the A and D are normal letters. After that, I can move it on top of the big T and size it down to what looks best. I wanted the big T a little bit bigger so then the Terrell Jr. could fit better, and then I changed the color. It's going to be silver, so I made it the closest to silver I could get. I like using birthday cake font for baby stuff just because it's really cute and it looks like it should be for a baby. I use it for like girls' birthday stuff and baby fonts. So his birthday is February 1st, 2022. And because I have to put the dots in between the numbers, I put a space there. But then I didn't like the 2022, it was just too big, so I just made it 22, making sure to put a space between the 01 and the 22 for my circles. So I duplicated it so I can have the same concept for later, the same template for later for the next numbers. And then I just got my circle, sized it down as much as I could to make it look nice there. Just kept resizing it till I thought it looked good. And then I duplicated it to move between the 01 and the 22. And then I welded that together to keep the circles and the numbers together. And then I can change the color now to the silver, the same silver as the Terrell Jr. And he was born 8 pounds, even just 8 pounds. So I duplicated that so I can use it for how long he is, and he is 21 inches long. And change the colors, of course. And then just move it onto the elephant ear and size it how I like it. I like to make sure that everything is the same size. So I just made them the same height, the 8 and the 21 the same height, just to make sure everything is even and looks nice next to each other. Next, I'm going to duplicate the 8 so I can write the time that he was born, and he was born at 11:46 a.m. And then I just move that, size it down, and move it to its proper spot on the ear as well. And then I have to change the color to the silver, make everything match, and duplicate that to write pounds, and then size it down to a decent size to fit on next to the 8, and then inches. And then I'm going to turn it at a 90-degree angle and just keep sizing down till it looks okay. And do the same with inches. I want it to be the same height, so I'll make sure that they're exact same height. And then turn that as well to a 90-degree angle. And line it up with the 21. I didn't like how spaced out the 2 and the 1 were, so I just brought them closer together. And the same thing with the time, just brought all the numbers in the AM in closer together. I just moved the oval out the way so that I can weld the 21 pounds and the 8 inches, so that when I cut it out, it's all one and I don't have to piece that together. Next, I need my dotted lines to put in between everything. So I just scrolled until I found some dotted lines that worked well. And then when looking for dotted lines, be careful because some are pin marks, but you don't want the pin marks, or you don't want it to be drawn with a pen, you want to cut it out. So I found my dots, changed the color. And then I needed a second set to go between the 8 pounds and 21 inches and the time. But first I want to make sure that all my numbers are even. So I placed them all on the same y-axis, and then made them all the same length. So when I add my dots, they can go on the same y-axis as the numbers, and everything can just be lined up and even. So I duplicated that and put it between his weight and length and his birth time. And then I needed one to go between the pounds and inches. So of course first it has to be turned to a 90-degree angle, and then I lined it up just to see how long I needed to be, and then I realized I needed to be 5 dots. So instead of making it smaller, because I still want them to be the dots to be the same size, I just took a square, lined it up under the 5th dot, and then sliced the bottom dots away. So then I only end up with just the 5 dots. And it's still the same size. I didn't have to make it smaller and make it a different size. So I just put that in the perfect spot, deleted the extra, and made sure it looked okay. Obviously I'm going to have to size it down a little, but I moved the dots out of the way to weld everything together, to weld all his birth stats together, and then I placed them back where they belong. And then I move the birth stats out the way so that I can weld the dots together. This just makes everything easier to iron on later, so that everything is not in separate places and I'm trying to figure out how to place it right when everything is just already all together. Then I group everything to one piece, not welding it, just grouping it so it doesn't get cut out together like this. It's just together like this on my page. And obviously I have to size it down, and then I want to add some little stars to the top, to that top blank spot. Add in some little stars. I want my stars to be welded in the same color so that I'm not cutting out 3 separate stars. It's just all one piece. And then I want to add some little baby footprints to the bottom. So I searched for baby footprints in the images. And the second ones are really cute, so I settled on those. Obviously they needed to be sized down. And then I made the footprints and the stars the same color. I just wanted to make sure everything looked good and lined up and within the ear. And then group and place it all back together. And I just grouped it because I wanted to slice it down a little bit more. But always make sure you save your projects in the end before you get to cutting it out, just in case something goes wrong. After getting everything cut out on the Cricut, it was time to get everything weeded.
Done this before you fall. I won't catch you, don't know I'm stalling. Cause you love to have it more crying. Calling me sweet, telling me you need me. But I'm from a city that's high school. I give them this anymore, I go. Cause you a bad money, she don't love money. She break grass real fast like conman. Wanna swim down to the deep end. Wanna know all my secrets, honestly. Can you keep it real? Cause honestly, I can tell that you're real fond of me. Baby, don't be shy. I can see it in your eyes. I've been running around. Too bad, I've been sticking out your mind.
I ended up not using the footprints because they were so small and I just couldn't get the toes to come off right. But now it's time to iron everything on, and obviously I have to start with the letter T. And I just moved it around until it was straight. I made sure the elephant was straight, and then just straightened out the T the best that I could and ironed it on. I normally use a much smaller iron, but I'm not recording from where I usually am, so I accidentally left the iron cord at home, so I used a much bigger iron, just a regular size iron. But I will post the link to the smaller iron because it's a lot easier. Next, I added his name, making sure it was as straight as possible. And just iron that on. I'm keeping the iron on for about 10 to 20 seconds. For the silver is a metallic, so it takes just a little bit longer than the regular blue. I do the same thing with the burst stats, making sure it's as centered as possible and as straight as possible. And again, this is the metallic looking final, so I ironed it on for about 10 seconds longer than I did for the regular blue. Next, I had to add on the dots, and I just lined it up perfectly.